If you are hurting over a woman, if you are with her for some time now, she got cold, she maybe doesn't reply to your messages, maybe she got closer to somebody else. If you want to reattract her, watch this video. This feeling that you have is because you learn to negotiate with your mind. You learn to allow these thoughts and feelings come and take over you. And it then creates this heavy energy here and turns to fear and fuck you up. You can't let that come here. You need to understand the rules. Her attraction for you went down because you fucked up, or for any reason. You want to get her back, you cannot be in this state. You either met a nice girl and you fucked up, you acted insecure, you took her for granted, you pushed too much for any reason, or you met a girl who's not a good girl. Either way, you're in this position and you have to change it. The next thing you need to know that your mind is against you. Your mind is like your enemy. I think it's not a nice thing to say, but your mind is like the enemy, and it makes you think worst case scenario and exaggerates. For example, she doesn't text you for a day, your mind goes to dark places. Things I'm going to tell you, I'm sure nobody can tell you, because for past 3 years, I've talked to 7,000 guys in your situation. That's 6 to 7 guys every day. I help them text their ex or girlfriend to fix their relationship. Whatever is happening between you and your ex, I've seen it. And in this video, I'm going to show you what to do to reattract her and get out of this cycle of terror and misery. First of all, if you want her to feel attracted to you, something that must happen, that I call it like a resurrection. You must declare your freedom from being held an emotional hostage. You know, there was a movie called Matrix. In Matrix Neo, there's a scene that he accepts his identity as the one, and he believes that he has the power to free humanity from enslavement. You can see, I'm going to show it here, that he starts to fight these agents. The boy must die, and that only happens when you understand that these emotions, all of these things that you feel for this girl, they cannot be in her control anymore. The same thing should happen. You should not be emotionally affected by this breakup, by this separation. She wants to be with somebody who's strong. If you are in a position that she can emotionally take you through all of these up and down, if your happiness is in her hands, she wouldn't want to be with you. This is a setup. The attraction of women for you is dynamic. She might be madly in love with you for a year, for 2 years, for 10 years. One day she could wake up and stop loving you. There's nothing we can do about it. Many guys don't ever fix this. That's the first thing. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. If you want to start reading the book Codependent No More, start reading on love addiction. Basically, the codependency is the very first thing you need to deal with. So instead of thinking about what text message should I send, you need to think about that. And dude, it really is like that scene of Matrix. Life completely changes. You realize, I don't want to be this guy anymore. I can't really be happy living without this terror of this girl not being here. And it's a great way to be. It's a great way to be. Maybe right now it's way too far out of your reality. There is a way you can live that you don't feel any of this pain anymore. That transition should happen. There is no faking here. You must go through this the right way. That's why in the program I help you go through this, so that weak part of you dies and a new, stronger part of you can be born to replace that. They can't be together. You cannot be weak and strong at the same time. That's really important. That must happen. And most guys don't want to do it, man. Most guys, they refuse to make this transition because it's hard, and they continue with their love addiction. Second thing, you need to learn to call approach like a motherfucker. If your ex is attractive, she gets approached by guys. And that's where there's a crazy imbalance between men and women. If a girl is attractive, she can easily find guys. But an average guy, even a high quality guy, if he doesn't approach, he will not get approached. You need to bring balance. Whoever has more options has better position. And if you don't have access to flow women who come to your life, or you bring them someone in your life, you're in a bad position. You need to learn call approach. You need to learn call approach. It's one of the other things that I teach in the program. You basically need to be able to meet women every day. Because an average girl, every day, if she wants, she gets approached 2-3 times a day. That's thousands of times every year. How many times do you get approached by women? Nothing. And that's where most guys totally suck, because their life is not fair. The game is unfair. Think about hierarchy. There are always guys above you and guys below you. But it's unfair. I was sitting in a cafe today. I was working on my laptop, putting some things together. There was a table next to me. It was a date, around mid-20s, late 20s. In front of me on the other side, there was a really good-looking dude, we talked a little. It was funny. So he was sitting there, that dude on the other side, and he was working on his laptop. I'm sitting here, a few tables here. This date was here. There was nobody else, and it's a really cool, like like a cafe, lounge cafe. So this guy was sitting there, he couldn't see that side. This girl comes, he stand up, goes and gives a piece of paper to the other guy who was sitting there. He's a really good looking dude. He's a taller dude, massive dude, he has tattoos, he has a very good face, head full of hair, he's a good looking guy, he's always smiling. I see him in the cafe every time I go to the cafe. Man, she stand up on the date, walks to this other guy, give Instagram. I talked to him there, I said, what the fuck was that? Instagram. And she come back sit here with this dude sitting. The guy had low energy, he wasn't very attractive. This is how unfair the scene is. You gotta get good. When I tell you gotta learn cold approach, you may not like it, but you need to learn cold approach. You have to learn, that's a skill. You need to, it's like you wanna play basketball, but you cannot throw. You have to learn to throw. You have to learn that. That's just the reality. You need to do it. The next thing you need to know that your mind is against you. Your mind is like your enemy. I know it's not a nice thing to say, but your mind is like the enemy, and it makes you think worst case scenario and exaggerates. For example, she doesn't text you for a day. Your mind goes to dark places. Where is she? What is she doing? Why didn't she text? She's sleeping with somebody. She forget about me. She breaking up. She never coming back. And those thoughts create a snowball of bad energy and more bad thoughts that get you to act insecure. Your mind is the enemy. It's a part of you. So you're here, your mind is here and keeps generating thoughts, give you these thoughts. You're not those thoughts, you're not your mind, you're separate from all of this. Do not react to those thoughts. You need to learn to navigate that. Again, that's one of the big things that we work on program. The last thing I want to tell you here is that whoever brings more emotions to relationship, he or she will lose. Basically, lose means loses control of the relationship. You want to be in control of the relationship. I don't want to see you sad. I don't want to see you calling me and telling me, Ben, I can't sleep. I've been waiting for her to text me. I can't stop thinking about her. Where is she? Well, I don't want it to be in that position. You got there because of one of these two. You either met a nice girl and you fucked up. You acted insecure. You took her for granted. You pushed too much for any reason. Or you met a girl who's not a good girl. Either way, you're in this position and you have to change it. So remember, this version of you that is weak, it has to go away. Sometimes I tell guys to go find a gym that has a cold plunge, cold pool with ice, really cold water. Go in, very related to what you're feeling right now. This feeling that you have is because you learn to negotiate with your mind. You learn to allow these thoughts and feelings come and take over you. And it then creates this heavy energy here and turns to fear and fuck you up. You can't let that come here. You need to understand the rules. Her attraction for you went down because you fucked up or for any reason. You want to get her back, you cannot be in this state. You have to get out of this cycle of terror. You have to break this cycle. So when you go in the cold, I still every day when I want to go, I don't want to do it. And that's exactly why I do it. Because I learned to tell my mind to shut the fuck up. I'm not listening to you. I'm doing this. And I go there and stay. So I'm gonna come out, no, I'm gonna stay now. I'm gonna stay here. And it's fucking cold, man. It's so cold. The same reason now that the bad thoughts come when she doesn't text me, I don't let the thoughts just come. Why do I want to have bad thoughts? I want to make good assumption. I want to make an assumption that she's at work today, or she's studying, or she went to bed early. Because it doesn't make any difference, man. If you have bad thoughts, you start to do bad things. And that turns your life to fuck. Never, ever give control of your life to your mind. Be in conscious control of what you think, what you do. Relationship is a big trigger for you to think the way you don't want to do things you don't want to do, to feel things you don't want to feel. Learn from this relationship. Take advantage of your situation. Sign up from a program and do everything that I tell you. Stay there, dude. Every guy needs to have a mentor. I have mentors myself. If you are blessed to feel the pain of this woman leaving you, that is your fucking calling, dude. You need to change, you need to get better. Stop thinking about what text message to send. Stop thinking about how can I change your mind. You gotta change yourself, man. Do you wanna go through the rest of your life with fear and being fucked? My name is Ben, I'm here to help you. The link is in the description. Read my book if you want me to get you out of this cycle of terror. Send me a message and I'll talk to you soon.